topic tonight from the advertisement was keeping fit. What does it look like when you're an adult with complex CP? It's my pleasure tonight to be able to present as part of the CP Achieve podcast series. I'm a physiotherapist working at Portland District Health in southwestern Victoria. I have a special interest in disability and ageing, in particular regaining, maintaining and improving lifestyles through exercise. I'll be introducing my PhD work tonight, which commenced this year, providing a brief outline of the aims of my project, where I will explore fitness options for those with cerebral palsy as they age, with particular focus on those with more complex presentations. I'm proud to be associated with CP Achieve as a research associate, as well as a prospective mentor for those CP Unite Young Adults Advisory Body. I would also like to specifically thank my supervisors for their help with my project and support with my PhD work. I would also like to acknowledge the NHMRC Centre of Research Excellence for their assistance with the funding of my project under the Australian Centre for Health Independence, Economic Participation and Value Enhanced Care for Adolescents and Young Adults with CP. So what is fitness and why is it important for adults with cerebral palsy? Physical fitness has been defined as the ability to carry out daily tasks with vigour, alertness, without undue fatigue and with ample energy to enjoy leisure time pursuits and meet unforeseen emergencies. According to a report from 2018 analysing Australia's health, 56% of us aren't meeting recommended physical activity levels. That's 9.5 million. This statistic is substantially greater if you're living with a disability such as CP. So why is fitness important? When we aren't meeting the recommended levels of exercise, we're at a greater risk of increased comorbidities such as obesity, heart disease, metabolic syndromes, and poor mental health. If you're an adult with CP, additional issues including chronic pain, fatigue, contracture, and reductions in function, to name a few, are additional complications. And it are these factors which can lead to declines in participation and quality of life. Fitness allows us to do the things that are important to us, whether it be work, living independently or interdependently, socialise, or any of the things that are personal to us which we enjoy doing. If you think of it like fuel in a car, it's like upgrading ourselves to have a bigger tank. So how can exercise help? As we can see by this infographic, which was designed last year specifically for disabled adults, the benefits of exercise are vast and not just restricted to improvements in health. As you can see, it also has the potential to positively impact mental health and participation in the community. So the question remains, why not more taking part? What are we missing? I developed an interest in the area of disability and early age functional loss 5 years ago. I was fortunate enough to volunteer as a hydrotherapy assistant for a family whose son had a complex presentation of CP. I was fortunate the mother was also a physiotherapist and would explain to me in detail what she was aiming to achieve with her son, which was to improve his ability to step transfer. This as a family meant much easier tasks at home. And also something that struck a nerve with me was better access for holidays, meaning that they could go to a place without having to worry about whether the place had a ceiling hoist or not. From this experience, my interest grew, and while I was at university studying physiotherapy, I worked as a disability support worker. I continued to be troubled by this common occurrence of early functional decline. As I was taught, CP was not progressive. So my own curious search of the literature made it clear that there was obvious gaps in our understanding. So what I first found was the adult literature was sparse. We can see here that 75% of the population of people with cerebral palsy in Australia are 25 and above. This means that 26,000 people in Australia out of 35,000 are underrepresented by the current literature. Reductions in mobility are common. Loss of function is common and estimated between 25 to 56%, starting as early as mid-adolescence, leading to additional health issues and reduced involvement in important aspects of life. Each person with CP is unique, presenting with varying degrees of complexity, which is not often addressed by the literature. In most cases, becoming part of the exclusion criteria for recruitment. We can see in this graph from Deloitte's similar to study to the last, 42% are gross motor function classification scale 3 and above, meaning that the research which focuses on ambulant cerebral palsy populations are missing a large number of the CP population. But this is just the motor complexity, and complexity does not just present as a physical impairment, with other factors needing to be taken into consideration as sensation, perception, cognition, communication, behaviour, by epilepsy, and by other secondary musculoskeletal problems. Sustainability is rarely addressed, and great to follow on from Gayla's work, including that in her terrific project. We can see that positive effects of exercise are widely supported. However, exercise sustainability are not often achieved or addressed. It has been noted that studies are limited to monitoring at the impairment and activity level, with links to improved participation and quality of life often not shown. If we are aiming to improve independence, sustainability is critical for people with CP. Now, this is where I'd like to introduce you to the formal aim of my project, which we've commenced this year. Taking the before mentioned gaps into account, I would like to conduct a series of studies seeking to explore how we can best support those with complex CP and to build, maintain fitness and function throughout adulthood through focusing on participation-based exercise interventions. Stage 1 will consist of a systematic review of the research, specifically focusing on adults with CP, which uses an exercise intervention. We're 8 months into stage 1 of the systematic review. We've registered the protocol and are currently screening through approximately 1,500 papers and are at present reviewing full texts of approximately 100 to find articles which may provide support for stage 2's intervention. It is my hope to have results in a draft completed by February next year, 2021. Stage 2 will include interventions based on exercise and informed by stage 1 study. And as a similar design to what we just saw tonight by Gayla, as we will conduct a single subject research design to address the heterogeneous nature of CP population. This allows us, and one of the big benefits is to use the subject as their own control by collecting multiple data points, as you can see from the example, and a real situation from Gayla's work before. Our main outcomes will be participation, quality of life and activity, but we'll also be interested in changes in pain, fatigue, self-efficacy and mood. We expect and hope to commence this part of the study mid to end of next year. Stage 3 will complete the project, taking into account the experiences of all those involved, which will be participants, parents and clinicians. Using semi-structured surveys, we're hoping to measure the acceptability of the intervention from key stakeholders. Underneath each stage of my project, there'll be a strong focus on consumer involvement. And as you can see from the graph, as each stage, as we progress through each project, the consumer involvement piece will increase. I've been lucky enough to have the involvement of the mother and son who first introduced me to the world of CP, guiding me with those important real world perspectives, as well as a UK physio who has set up and runs a non-for-profit organisation, Therapies Unite in Mexico, where I've volunteered. I look forward to building on this team and welcome any feedback from those with a lived experience of CP, who have had experience with exercise and how that may have affected their participation in life. I'd like to thank you all for your attendance tonight. On this slide, you can see how you can contact CP Achieve by email or through their social media, Instagram, Twitter or Facebook, and also with the website address that you can see on the screen. Thanks again for your time.